Hello and welcome back. Today we are continuing our Transvaal run in Victoria 3. Last episode we did have a little bit of a struggle. We left the UK's market kind of with the idea that we were going to join Russia's market because I forgot how the game works, and even though you're allowed to join someone's customs union, you can't ask. They have to ask you to join, so we can't rejoin no matter how many hard we click this. Our idea was that the UK's customs union was all messed up because they were revving. It was causing our prices to be all out of whack, and so we had a little bit of market madness. We also annexed Persia, which down the road is going to be pretty nice for us. We're incorporating some of them, but not all of them. But as we get the incorporation up, this will be really good. We will put in our institutions here. These are going to be important for us building. But also, we're kind of hitting an inflection point where we're working on feminism right now. And once we hit feminism, it will be possible for us to roll a trade unionist. And also, we have not a trade unionist. It will be possible for us to roll something that will allow us to pass multiculturalism, which is really what we want, because then we won't be discriminating anymore. And so this is going to be probably what we're focused on today. And this is a very important play pattern, which is we currently do not have any generals that are part of the trade unionists. And so what will happen is once we roll feminism, what we will do is we will recruit and fire a whole bunch of generals until we find a trade unionist with the humanitarian or the humanist, I think it's humanitarian, ideology, and then we will use them to pass multiculturalism, and then racism will be dead forever. Apartheid will be done. The truth hurts, South Africa, but then we will be getting, this will just kind of unlock all of this Persian land, really, and our ability to build here, because currently we don't want to build in these places because qualifications are going to be a sticky problem. We can only build a little bit in these places, and what we really want to do is we want to de-peasant all these places. We want to jam the wood up super high and then focus on the resources, and we can't really do that. Also, we've been enduring this entire run the bug where the private queue controls 75% of the construction no matter how much they're contributing, which of course is absolutely brutal, and it's given us way less agency in terms of like what we can control, but we're still kind of toughing it out through this, and so yeah, let's be off and on our way. Well, maybe with Djenne we will actually be able to recruit more than 3 boats. We're still on 3 boats, largely because of the discrimination and the place can't recruit up. We're going to have freaking ironclads before we can get our 4th boat, and we put in forever ago. We could, of course, more aggressively... Oops, we were supposed to swap that over forever ago. We could forever ago. We could be more aggressive about trying to get this to recruit up, but it's really not the biggest deal. But this should give us better training rate, which will hopefully massage this on in the right direction. I mean, we don't have too much discrimination in LM, and this is the place where we are building, these naval bases out of, but they are recruiting up real slow. 1.4k. We're like 30-something years into the game. It's really, really rough if you do not have primary culture pops on the coast, which we do not. And so we're dependent on migration. Now, to be fair, we are actually getting migration here now, though, so this kind of helps out a little bit, but it's not too much, although it's been close to 500,000 since we incorporated, so around 400,000 total pop growth, so this is pretty substantive, and the pop growth will get even better once we get reg bodies in order to kind of get rid of a lot of the workforce safety issues, and so hopefully we can kind of pop off a little as far as pops go. Get it? Pop off? So we hit a absolutely huge tech inflection point, or 2 really. First of all, we got pump jacks, and that spread to us. And if we take a look at our economy, yeah, we're pretty mine focused, but we really don't even have that many mines, to be honest. We're going to continue. We're going to put these in. We really have, what is this, a total of 70, 80 mines. Granted, these 18 gold mines, these are carrying the economy. But what we have is, look at all these plantations we have, courtesy of the auto queue, which is bugged out. These could have been logging camps. They should have been logging camps, but instead we have a bunch of plantations. Pump jacks makes these way better because it basically doubles the inputs and the outputs. We're going to swap on over, automatic irrigation on both the rubber and the opium, and then we're going to swap at least some of the cotton ones. We're going to exempt the ones that aren't profitable, and this is going to represent a huge come up as we build more engines, or enough engines to kind of make this work. We might even import engines. I actually kind of like this idea because, to be honest, we still want to be focused on tools rather than engines. We don't have the electric engine PM. the engine PM overall is not very good, and while it is kind of a later tier good that is more like pop efficient, it's not going to be until we get electric engines that it's really going to feel particularly nice as a PM. So I think I'm fine just importing these a little bit more aggressively than we otherwise would, and so this will just depress down the price. This is kind of a play pattern that we haven't really leaned into too much in the past. We might even want to import some of this too. God, this hurts so bad. But we really want to focus more on tools and also just bolstering up what we currently have. So we're going to do that. That's kind of like thing one. The thing two is we have 14 days left on getting feminism. And feminism is a very important technology because what it does is it unlocks the humanitarian, or your ability to roll humanitarian leaders in the military, which is going to allow you to do some neat things because we will be able to force multiculturalism here. Now, what we can do is we could save, and then when we roll, what we are going to do is we're going to recruit a ton of generals. We call this rolling. When we roll for this, being able to get up onto this, what's going to happen is it's going to have, each day is going to actually have a different roll, and so what we could do is we could roll, see a bunch of different guys, and then we could load, and then proceed to the next day, and we could guarantee kind of get what we want. But we're going to try and do this without any sort of like save shenanigans. We didn't create we're going to try and do this without save shenanigans. So what we're going to do is we need to get someone who is a trade unionist that is going to be one of two things: an enlightened royalist, or they have to be humanitarian, and they have to have positive popularity. And what this will do is, what will happen if one of these people fulfills this criteria, and we exile this moderate, we will get the other guy into power, which means we can just slot them in and we can use them to pass multiculturalism. So we can also, in theory, roll this on an intelligentsia. However, we would have to get rid of all of our intelligentsias. So the first thing we do is we're going to check how many intelligentsia boyos we have. We haven't seen one yet, but I'm pretty sure we have a few kind of out and about. And this is, we are checking because we do not want to have more than one potential guy we can roll into government, because then we could do the exile trick and then we don't get what we want, and we don't want to not get what we want because we have a brain, I hope. And so, coming in here, it actually doesn't look like we have a single intelligentsia guy, which is fantastic. So this means we can roll it on either an intelligentsia individual, so we could, one of these guys, if they were of the right thing, which they're not, would be good enough, or we could roll it on the trade unionists. Now, you can roll it on rural folk too, but we have a bunch of rural folk generals, so we're not going to do that. So we're actually going to come in, we're going to go to the military, and we are going to actually recruit a navy. Not because we have a lot of boats. We only have 3 boats. Still on 3 boats. Big sad. But this gives us a bunch of slots that we can use to roll. And so we see here, Democrat and not what we want. So we'll recruit anything but an intelligentsia is going to be what we're going for. But we are looking for intelligentsia or trade unionist. So here we have a trade unionist feminist. Now, he's not popular. That's thing one. And also, we don't really care about feminism yet. We want it eventually, but this is not what we want to do immediately. This guy's a feminist too. Big nice. We will recruit a few generals because we don't want too many navy stuff sitting around. And so we are going to take a look at, do any of these guys have negative popularity? No. So we're going to recruit the Democrat, and we're going to keep in mind he's here because we're probably going to have to exile him. Now we get another roll, and we can roll the feminist. Really would like to not be forcing intelligentsia guys. Okay, so here we have an enlightened royalist, but he's not popular. And so this is a key thing. Because he's not popular, he will not be eligible. So we're going to recruit him into here. We're going to have him on offense. And we have currently a war going on. So what we're going to do is we are going to set him to be the only guy on offense. And we are going to let him win a bunch of battles. We hope. We hope he can win a bunch of battles. The truth hurts if we lose a bunch of battles. But this will give him a ton of popularity. And we will also exile one of these guys so that... Wait, where did we put our... We have to know where we put our guys. Are these the 2 guys? Okay, so we're going to exile probably both of these guys just so no funny business. But if this guy is popular, when we exile the intelligentsia, he will become the ruler. Taking a look... He, in fact, endorses monarchy, which isn't something we like, but he endorses multiculturalism. So we will be able to pass multiculturalism with this guy if we put him in government. And so we are going to see if we can win a bunch of battles here. And we are also going to see if maybe we can roll... if we can roll something else as well. But we'll do the rolling off camera and see if we can get maybe a trade unionist guy, which would be better than an Intelligentsia guy, because the trade unionists have 11% more clout, so this would be preferable. But we'll take what we can get. Okay, so for whatever reason, winning battles is not giving this guy any popularity, which is big and unfortunate, and so we had to roll a whole bunch more. You can see we have basically fully filled a whole bunch of this stuff, looking for our boy, but we found our boy. This is a humanitarian who has a 25 popularity, and so this guy with ambitious will be he's the only intelligentsia guy we have with positive popularity. And so now what happens, Miss Louis V. Loyen, however that's pronounced, what will happen is if we reform the government, we take out this guy, we exile this guy. So you see this guy, he's a reformer, Cornelius Kruger. If we exile Mr. Cornelius Kruger, he will be replaced by the humanitarian boyo that we had with positive popularity, Mr. General Louis V. Hoyen. And then we just need reform government, bring him back into the party, and then we can now pass multiculturalism. Hurrah! No one, or well, there will be people who oppose this, but this is how you pass multiculturalism. It's not like low chance of like, oh no, you have to get super lucky. No, you force the luck. You force the luck by recruiting the generals as much as you need to until you can find exactly having one guy with positive popularity that has the exact ideology you want, and then when you exile the leader, he will be replaced with this guy, and then you use the guy to pass the law. And so we will be getting rid of discrimination in South Africa. Take that. We're ahead of schedule. It's 1880. So fast for us. Who knew we could get rid of discrimination in South Africa so fast? So this is going to be really, really good once we get it through, because multiculturalism will actually allow us to employ up stuff. We will finally have more than 3 boats. Hey, we're so good at this game. Multiculturalism, the end of discrimination. Now, that's a bit of a problem, and so we do have to make a bit of a choice in regards to what we're finally going to get rid of. We also have a Tajik secession. I think we stopped the resource industry everywhere but Transvaal. I think we need to stop this. Greener grass. Maybe we just stop the 2 greener grass campaigns. Okay, maybe this is the way forward. And we have ourselves a nice multiculturalism now, which is going to mean no discrimination, which means what we are going to do is we are going to find all the places with peasants and root them out. Now, we will stop sorting by job seekers. Instead, we'll sort by peasants. And if it's got a peasant, we're adding a logging camp. And then we're going to set all the logging camps to auto-expand. And this is going to be the pop-offening, because this is how this works, where if you... Logging camps are just so good at de-peasanting, and this is what we need to do. We're going to put all these on auto-expand. We're going to put these on auto-expand. We're going to put these on auto-expand, because these are also really good. And then we were kind of... Let's get those also in the queue. And so we got a bunch of stuff in the queue. Now, to be fair, this queue is going to take forever to clear, because we only have 25% control, and we are in a little bit of trouble on that front. Why is this taking so long? Man. Ooh, Austria finally asked for a trade agreement, so this is nice. We would still love to join the customs union, but also another thing's developed. The Netherlands, we finally get above cordial with them, although to be fair, we overshot it, and we had an obligation, so now we can invite them to the customs union, so we can start getting those juicy migrants. So I think we managed to time it right. So, oops. Okay, so now we're getting the migrants from them, I think. Plus 38k, plus 43k. This is going to be so nice for us. We have a lot of migration attraction, and we are going to get them in. And we are not going to discriminate, so following that, I mean, we don't have exactly the biggest market, but, you know, we will be able to siphon off from other people. Now, we won't be able to siphon off from the Sikh Empire, because they have closed borders, but anyone with open borders, we will be able to siphon off from, because we accept everybody. Everybody's accepted. We have multiculturalism, total separation. Everyone's, like, wanting to come in, and also this should... in the long term, really help out with this. Yeah, we see this starting to come down because we are no longer going to be generating radicals from discrimination. Oh, we got a mass migration from the Heavenly Kingdom. Let's go, baby. Yeah, we are popping off here. Let's get this. Where's this? Oh, it's into Transvaal. Let's go. And this is, by the way, just as soon as we lifted. You know, encourage the migration. But this is because they're not discriminated against here. And how big is it going to be here? How big is it going to be here? What's the pop-off look like? What's the mathematics on that? 416k? Let's go, baby. Of course, it'll actually diminish as more people come in, but it's still going to be real nice for us. Also tremendously nice, the rural folk have a ton of clout, and okay, to be fair, they're really mad. They are upset. They are having a time. But the thing we wanted to focus on is look at oh man, really. Okay, I was going to focus on us literally having literary, but which gives minus infamy decay, which is absolutely tremendous, but it's avoided by the imposing, which is like, all right, you got us there. We get a second mass migration, basically in the right exact same spot, which is kind of wild. If we just like they're pouring in, still a 300 some K, so we're really coming on up following getting multiculturalism here, and we're gonna start adding construction sectors because we actually are. It's not bugged no mo, or it's operating as intended. We have so much investment pool transfer that like look at this. We're actually storing some up. We're up to 2.5 mil, so we're going to look to set that free, and the truth will set you free, but mainly the construction will set you free. Now, we do have this whole debacle where we're actually like losing a ton of money, and so I think what we're going to do is we're going to stop encouraging resources here, mainly because we're actually like decently spread out as an economy, and instead what we will do is we are going to start getting into the consumption tax game. We've finally done it. We finally transitioned to like a normal looking economy, and since we are starting to have a lot of population, look, there's 66 peasants here now, and we can really get a lot of value out of construction. It's going to be worth it for us to increase taxes in order to enable a higher and higher level of construction, so that we can turn these guys from peasants, which we're starting to get peasants again, so that we can turn these guys into gainfully employed and really start to pop off. Like, look, we have a ton of peasants over here too, and this is not even including once these places like get going over here. Like, we have turmoil, so this is killing the migration attraction, but these places will be really nice for pulling in pops because they're going to have a ton of unused arable land when we start getting the ball rolling on these, which is one of the reasons why it's so critical we get these logging camps up, because these will not only will they pull the pops out of here, they will also kind of discourage the auto queue from building some of this arable stuff, and so this is going to help out a lot long term for trying to get stuff like these mass migrations that we're giving from the Heavenly Kingdom, which are just like absolutely insane. This is like a very high level. This is higher than I was anticipating. Look, it's even gotten higher, and so we're just like shooting for the moon right now, and so to that end, more construction is going to be more valuable to us than the resource throughput. Now we're going to keep it on free stat, mainly because we have the 13 gold mines, but even then eventually we're going to be taking it off of here. That is the resource decree. Bro, we get another mass migration to LM, so like look, dude, we have 3 all right next to each other. That's insane. I don't think I've ever seen 3 just like bam, 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 which is going to give so much migration here because it's also to the adjacent states. And so maybe if we let this take a week, okay, it won't go over 500,000, but this is just like, we are just absolutely popping off, plus 25% annual projected migration. And what's so great about this for us is that, okay, this is a malaria state, but we will be able to convert all of these pops that are, these Han type pops, or rather like the Min type pops, we will be able to convert all of these to being Boer, where they will not suffer the penalties from, either discrimination, because we're over that, but they won't have to suffer the penalties from malaria because this is a homeland state for Boer. And so this is just like so tremendous. We're just like really popping off. We're just gonna added 50 construction, and it barely like dented our bottom line, and we're just gonna continue to really pop off. I don't think we need these ports here, so we're gonna kick up to the bottom because we kind of do want to get kick in as it relates to us having a whole bunch of. Probably won't need that. The barracks, I guess, we'll let finish. That's fine. We do have a few universities in Transvaal, but this is the cream de la crop. So why don't we get the logging camps actually to the front, as well as let's get the logging camps to the front. This is going to be where it's at. It's all about wood. You know what I mean? We're also going to put a level 1 iron camp everywhere. Or iron camp. Mining camp. Is it mining camp? We're going to put a level 1 iron thing, iron mine, everywhere. And then we're going to put on auto expand. The big reason behind this is that we still have the iron company, so we are getting extra construction on it. And we're just trying to like blast stuff out as quickly as possible. And we're also going to do the same for the lead. At least put it on auto expand. And we're going to put down, you know, a level 1 in a few places. That way these ones can auto expand as well. And then we'll just work on exporting some of this stuff because this will be in terms of construction efficiency, this is going to be highly construction efficient, and we've basically just been uncapped by the fact that we're getting so much of this migration and we're accepting all of these pops. We couldn't build here before because they wouldn't really be able to employ up or anything like this, but now they can definitely employ up, you know, because we don't discriminate. And so what we can instead do is we can just export these things. We probably have a relatively collapsed iron price, and we can just look to export it to a bunch of people, you know, to buoy up the price. We can do the same thing with softwood. We can do the same thing with hardwood. And we can do the same thing with lead as well, except lead's not even cheap, but we'll get it there. And so for the auto queue, or at least for the portion of the queue we're controlling, it's going to be like all logging camps. Of course, gold would be fine, but it's mainly going to be logging camps and iron in these places. That way we can, you know, try and de-peasant a lot of these pops, because we still have a ton of peasants over here. So this is kind of a bit of a priority, and we are doing this through like significant construction malice, but minus 33% state construction efficiency, that gets undone by our bonus, our company bonus, at least for the iron and the lead mines, and the wood is just so efficient that we just, like, we don't care if we have to construct through that malice. Hey look, now we got 6 boats, baby. We finally can actually recruit up. Also, just as soon as our migration target ended, a new one started coming from British East Africa, which is going to be nice for us. So we're like hard popping off right now. We keep getting mass migration events over and over, to the extent that I think pointing them out over and over is a little bit boring, but we just keep getting them in kind of in these 3 states. We get another one with UA. It's just kind of like, I wish I knew what we started off in terms of population the episode with here, but it was not 2 million. It was not anywhere near 2 million. I think it was a little over 1. So really just getting a ton of migrants from these states. Like we can see, like, look at this pop map. That's the multiculturalism bump, baby. So this is like just a huge come up. But we do get a little bit of thumb in our pie, which is the Ottoman Empire joining against us when we're trying to reduce the autonomy in Sind, which is going to be a little bit rough. We're just going to try and land in order to occupy Sind. They don't have a navy here to kind of really defend that well, and we got 9 boats, baby. We in it. And so actually they do have a navy. It's just a 3 stack though. Hopefully we can get through it with our 9 boats, but here we're just going to defend, and then if they organize this huge like naval push somewhere, it looks like they have a 32 stack behind, so we can't really land them, except for funny business with the strategic regions. They got to cover 2 strategic regions with that 32 stack. That 32 stack is probably in the Anatolia strategic region. Here, let's get the strategic region. It's probably Anatolia, which means we can land Balkans pretty easy, and so that sucks for them, but we will probably be trying to land Balkans and then pushing into it, but we're just going to defend here for a while and see what they can do, and maybe it's a little bit rough for us. We do have to be a little concerned because they actually do have a meaningful war goal, but we are going to try and liberate Iraq if we can. Oop. We left someplace undefended. Didn't mean to do that, didn't want to do that, but I guess we will. If they're not going to put anything on it, we don't need to put anything on it. It's the safest thing you ever heard of, the safest strategy, but this is probably the biggest war we've had in a hot second, and these, we instantly occupy them, so we're going to be fine on that front. And then over here, what I think we'll do is we'll put a guy in. Oh, he's already traveling here. Perfect. So I think we are about kind of where we want to be, and we will be looking to make some moves somewhere. I think what we're going to do is, with this landing squad that we've developed, where we want everyone, of course, on advanced front of some kind. Cautious advance, sure. No, actually just advance. These other 2 guys should be on the one we want them on, the move fast one, but we don't want to swap because I think that'll just break it for us. But I think what we might do is we might land in the Balkans, and then when this 32 stack comes over to deal with us, then we switch and we land in Anatolia, and so we get the cap that way. It does look like they're trying to do a landing of their own, so I think that with whatever conscripts we can kind of get up remaining here, we're just going to conscript up a couple and and hope that this is enough to hold. Actually, let's not play a little hope game. Let's play a little, like, actually recruit guys up game. And so we'll recruit up to 10 here with an additional 2 to protect against the landings. And so other than that, kind of play a little bit slow, because I do think they have overall a stronger military than this. But freeing like Iraq will be so nice for like us actually having a nice looking map, because like we're starting to get like this Transvaal thing just stretching up all over here. Egypt is likely to join our market sometime soon because we've been improving relations, doing a whole bunch of stuff, and we get Egypt in, we can get this really nice looking all of East Africa plus Persia, and I think that'll be nice and themey. We haven't really expanded too much elsewhere, we can ignore that, and so yeah, this war will be a little bit tricky though. So we get in the Balkans, like taking candy from a baby, which of course lures this guy back. So now we're going to play a little bit of dodge the Navy here. But until they put this guy in, this guy's not assigned. Until they assign this guy somewhere, these guys will be able to push in with impunity, while we just have this Navy just run back and forth. Because the 61 stack's just following it, but they will never catch it because this is how the mechanics work. If the Navy doesn't stop anywhere, you can't actually catch it. So they're going to be trying to play whack-a-mole, and look at this. They had to pulled off a total of 100 stack to try and deal with this because they wanted to maintain these guys as as the ability to defend. So now what happens is now we get to turn these guys on to pushing, and we get to find which guys are the offensive planners and this type of thing. If we have such things, why don't we put the pillager on? Well, let's just put advanced front, and we will look to get these guys in. I think we'll only do if these guys are offensive oriented. I think that's the only time. Okay, so we'll push in with 2 guys, 2 stacks, and look, there's no one on this front either. So we will switch these guys to advance, and we will push them out over here, and then we will continue to just cycle this guy back and forth, and then as soon as they get someone over here, we'll just say smell you later. So this guy's almost here. As soon as he's here, look at all this that we've occupied. As soon as he's here, we're just gonna leave. We're just gonna say peace. We're gonna say smell you later. Okay, there's someone here. All right, fair enough. The later, you will be smelt. And so, and then this 61 stack, okay, this 61 stack, it does actually look like they're ready to intercept us. So what we'll do is we'll just cancel this naval invasion, and we know they're going to be in Anatolia, right? We do know that they're going to be in Anatolia in terms of having a guy defend, but guess what? They're not in the Caucasus, are they, baby? They have a territory in the Caucasus, so we will land in the Caucasus here, and just a little bit of come and chase us. So they get here. That's nice and fine for us. They have like 100 stack, 130 that aren't involved in any sort of fights, and then we're getting a push off over here because they are not getting anything done, and then we get a landing in the Caucasus, and hey, we're going to push the Caucasus, and then we're going to, you know, goose chase it yet again with the Navy here. So with a bit of, let's call it, creative maneuvering, we do manage to occupy most of the Ottoman Empire despite having a weaker army. You can see we're minus 93 over here. But we are going to get Iraq and Ottoman war reparations, which is going to be big and nice for us. We are setting ourselves up to have a really nice clean border, you know, kind of with the Middle Eastern Arabia region. But I think we're going to conclude, this isn't what we drew up. To be fair, we can capitulate here, and then we will have, yeah, much less. We wanted to just join the UK in case they wanted to take us back into their customs union, although they're not liking us very much anymore. No one's invited us to the customs union, so that's sad. But this episode we did pop off, and we popped off really hard. Shortages abound because we are now getting a ton of population. Let's take a look. Let's see Paul Allen's pop. We are at, like, just really, really growing the pop off the basis of getting multiculturalism, which is just going to be fantastic for us. And not only that, it's really opened new opportunities for us to be able to expand expand in various areas. To be fair, we have a huge engine shortage. We've been importing engines. Our auto queue is building a ton of engines. We are just going to continue to really, like, try and get as much engines as possible without us having to construct them, because we want to build stuff that's a lot more efficient per construction for, like, boosting our economy, because constructions are throttled now more than pop, because now we have unlocked all these undiscriminated pops, and so we're going to do that, and so that's going to help out. But we've, like, 2.5x construction here. It's not like it's not like there's not a reason this has happened. We have just like absolutely blasted construction into the upper atmosphere in both Transvaal and Freistadt, and so this is the big reason. Look at this, 256k. Yeah, so this is fantastic for us, but this is the real big story has been going multiculturalism. We banned apartheid in South Africa, and everything's big nice from here. And so, and not only that, we're like, these places are still incorporating. Once they get fully incorporated, some of these places are incorporating halfway there. We're going to have full access to institutions. We're going to start colonizing a lot faster. We only have 12 million of our pops are incorporated, so this will allow us to colonize a lot faster, actually kind of push some of these areas, and so this is part of kind of where we're going from here. As far as tech goes, I think we're going to go ironclad into civilizing mission. We finally got more than 3 boats, and so yeah, this episode's been a pretty nice one in terms of the feels, and we also slapped around the Ottoman Empire. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe, do the YouTube algorithm thing, and have a good day.